Spend some more time reaching out to people that can't buy in order to sell more. What the hell am I talking about? Well, with any organization that you're trying to sell into, there are people that can make decisions, that have budget that they can allocate, right? That are, I guess what you'd call like above the line in terms of, people that can make a purchasing decision, implement technology, get access to budget in order to get things done. Then there are people within the organization that can't do those things, right? But they may be the end users of the software or the service, or they may ultimately benefit from your solution being put in place, right? So they can't make a purchasing decision, but they get the benefit from that solution being put in place. And so when I say, reach out to more people that can't buy in order to sell more, I'm talking about those end users. So let me give you a really crystal clear example. If you're selling a solution that impacts SDRs, so think, sales engagement platforms like Sales Software Outreach or call intelligence solutions like Gong or Chorus, or some new prospecting tool or some new data tool. If you spend time speaking to SDRs, you're going to be able to get a really clear insight into the current situation and the potential problems or challenges that an organization is facing, right? And if you can triangulate those points of view, so that is, speak to multiple people within an organization, you're going to be able to gather a lot of intel on where the issues are within an organization and what challenges they're facing that you might be able to help them to solve. So you can then take those insights and roll that up into messaging that you use to the VP of Sales, Director of Sales Development, CRO, whatever it might be, right? So this applies not only to sales tech or to SDRs as an entry point, but to every functional department, right? Whether you're selling to finance, marketing, human resources, engineering, there are end users within the organization that may not have access to budget, may not have decision-making authority, but they have a really clear understanding of the current situation within that organization and whether or not they have any problems or pain points that you can help them to solve. Right? So what you want to do is start to build lists of these end users and reach out to them with the sole purpose of trying to gather information. Okay, and I'm going to look at my screen here because we've got a little bit of like a template script that you can use to do that. So, for example, what I've recommended in this article, I'll link to it below, is to run a search on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And what you want to do is run a search for the end user, right? And so in this case, let's take, I've taken entry-level marketing roles, right, at computer software companies with between 11 and 200 employees. And then what I've done is I've added this spotlight feature, which is posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. The reason I've added that is because those are the folks that are most likely to be active on LinkedIn, and so your message will most likely be delivered to them, or they'll see it within a timely manner. So first things first, run that search on Sales Navigator and then connect with those folks on LinkedIn. Once you're connected, you'll have the ability to send a voice note to them. Okay, and in that voice note, you want to say something along the lines of the following. So, hey, first name, thanks for connecting with me. I'm trying to do a little research on, let's just say the company, so let's say Salesforce, to understand if we might be able to help, and then insert the value prop, right? So whatever it is that you do. So if we take Right Channel as an example, I'm trying to do a little bit of research on Salesforce to understand if we might be able to help you guys to drive, 25 to 35% connect rates on cold calls, right? That's the value prop. Next sentence, so we've worked with companies like insert similar customers on this before and helped them to insert specific outcome relevant to this person's job. Okay, so this here is an important piece. You want to tell them what you've done before for similar companies, but in a way that it relates to making their job easier, right? Or removing problems that they have within their day-to-day workflow. So make it specific to them. Don't give them some like high-level outcome or metric that their bosses or their boss's boss cares about, but something that they actually care about and would get benefit from. Right, so for an SDR, that might be, higher cold call connect rates. That might be better deliverability on emails. That might be, better insights into the accounts or the contacts that you're trying to schedule into demos, right? So something specific that's going to help them, right, drive the outcomes that they're looking for. Then the next sentence is, now, I know you're probably not responsible for making purchasing decisions, but we find that their title, so SDRs have a really good understanding of the issues that exist around this at the moment. So again, we want to call out the fact that we know they can't make a purchasing decision. You don't want this to come across as like you're trying to sell to them, right? You want this to be about gathering information. Because if you don't have that sentence in there, then quite often what you'll get is, look, I can't make these decisions, speak to my boss, right? But if you front foot that objection up front, then you should be able to get better traction with this messaging, right? So now I know you're probably not responsible for making purchasing decisions, but we find that SDRs have a really good understanding of the issues that exist around this at the moment. And then the final sentence is, hate the idea of a quick chat. Right, so we're putting out the offer there, we're asking, and you can change that to, could I send you a couple of questions to answer, opposed to a quick 10-minute Zoom to discuss this further, whatever it is, whatever you want to get out of it. Right, now if you do that and you get a number of these conversations within a specific company, you're going to have much more insights from people actually on the ground to help you flesh out where the problems exist and where they don't, and where you can really add value. Then you can take that information and use it to go and sell it to their boss or their boss's boss with insights that you've actually gleaned from within the company. Okay, so moral of the story, right? Reach out to people who can't buy in order to sell more. You should be spending a specific or a proportion of your time, maybe 10, 15% of your week, reaching out to these folks in order to try to gain insight that you can use to sell further up the chain of command.